Hello, Steve here. Welcome to Real Health. Who'd have thought health is about what we're eating? Join me on my quest to disseminate my go-to health regimen, the Health 44, my clumsy branding of eliminating 4 classes of food, introducing 4 classes of micronutrients. Bingo, bongo, health sorted. So thank you for your interest. Let's do this. Welcome again. Steve here, episode 326. I did check. You clicked on today, history of nutrition. It's not going to be polished. It's going to be my usual rantings, ravings, musings. What did Marcus Aurelius call his thoughts on paper? Anyway, it might come to me. But so I guess we could start with recorded history. And bring us to the present, which each and every stage throughout our history when it comes to health and nutrition, it's always been a stab in the dark with the same sort of ideology, the way of thinking there was at that time. So we've got the beginnings of a recorded history in ancient Egypt, say 5000 BC to what's that, 2.5 or so thousand BC. Then we get the Greeks. Then in amongst all that, you've got Ayurveda medicine, Ayurvedic medicine. I've heard many ways how to pronounce it. That's the way that sunk into my head. Then we got the Chinese medicine and the like, and which is the Ayurvedic and the Chinese medicine history is pretty much a smattering of herbs, spices. Did you know that the difference between a herb and a spice is a root and herbs are the leaves? Yeah, how about that? So it took me a while to realise that one. How's my mic going there? So I've mentioned quite often that ancient Egypt pretty much had their staple caloric intake. Their staple diet was millet, and around 3000 or so BC, they switched from millet to wheat. Wheat was cheaper, they could keep for longer, it probably attracted less pests and that sort of thing. It was an economic decision. Just like the start of the Industrial Revolution was all economic. But in amongst the economic was the tech, the better methods, the better tech for the times. Yes, it's a factor. So for utility, for economic purposes, it's now wheat in Egypt, and the way we progressed to having eventually the Industrial Revolution is that it wasn't the Industrial Revolution that caused the Industrial Revolution per se. What started the Industrial Revolution is the Agricultural Revolution. People forget about that. 17th century, they started to really up their game, their productivity, their yields of produce, and in some instances, in the British Isles, it was recorded that they were gaining something like 1,000 to 1,500%, yes, of extra yield in the farmlands, and that came via better growers were getting access to land by property rights and that sort of thing, right? So that's what was happening there. So each upshoot of population, of pyramids, civilization, Industrial Revolution has been all crop based. right? So, and in amongst wheat becoming the new staple diet of the Egyptians, that brought in my regulars, my 2.2 regular listeners and watchers know where I'm going here. The gluten. The gluten has now started to damage our physiology by reducing the amount of micronutrients we can absorb, because the villi in our small intestine is now becoming damaged to the point where in your 40s and 50s, it's not like this grabbing of this shag pile carpet in your small intestines, grabbing all these micronutrients coming through the villi. It's more like, by the time you're 60, it's like a garden hose. Straight through, you're only absorbing 3%, 5% of your micronutrients, and then that is how we get older faster. From, say, age 60 to 80, it's just whew, this slide from vitality to death. It's a massive slide. It's not normal. And we have ourselves to blame unknowingly. It's not. There's a lot of mainstream poo-pooing out there, mainstream medicine poo-pooing out there. It's not that warranted. We're just stupid. These stupid apes, they got a bit less stupid than the other apes. And so the narrative goes, the whole idea, evolution. And you got the creation from the earth and this and that. Even from the earth idea, God and other religions, yes, I think it's said that Islam and Christianity, Judeo-Christian, it's all the one God. Okay, fair enough. But in amongst all that one God thing is poking in the dark once again. There was a time when it was all about the gods, many gods. It's recorded. Osiris, Zeus, and all that sort of thing through Egypt and Greece and beyond into Roman times, and then all of a sudden, bingo, bongo, Christianity, singular monotheism, right? But in amongst all that, we've had the evil spirits, the gods, God, witches, sorcerers, physicians, science, physicians, and then we have now, what do we have now? Nutrition influencers on this tech of social influence, social media, yes. So in amongst all that smattering of different stages in our history, we have always just poked in that dark. Herbs and spices in Egypt, herbs and spices, and a few tinkerings of managing amputations and all that. That happened in Egypt too. A lot in Roman times. So mainstream health flourished out of that side of things, out of the overt, invasive treatments. So there's a long history of all that. But why? Why were we getting chronically ill? Why did we all of a sudden a child die at the age of 2 for apparent no reason? Unknowingly, until at least the 50s, more widespread. There was people that knew before the 1950s. Now, yes, I'm going all over the place, but I'm sure you're following with the whole ideas part. That it's about the minerals and all the other micronutrients that are declared essential. The mainstream suggests sometimes 27, sometimes 40, those sort of numbers, essential micronutrients, but there are in fact 90 when soil science is understood. We knew this back in the 60s, flourished in the 70s, and then it just trailed off again. It just got forgotten that minerals, other micronutrients, that's it. We just lost it. I think the mainstream with the um, amino acids suggests there's 9 essential amino acids. There's in fact 12. Yes, we can make some, but we need to take it in every day as well. But anyway, so we stabbed in the dark about the herbs and the spices, and in amongst all that, some of you may have seen the episode or heard the episode on cannibalism. Cannibalism is a manifestation of malnutrition. There's no access to animals. There's no access to good amount of minerals in the soils because you may be in highlands, too much rainfall. It doesn't flood. It washes away the nutrients it goes down to the farmlands, and where the crops were grown down at the productive farmlands, that's where the micronutrients were. So if you're up in the mountains like Aztecs, Papua New Guinea, that sort of thing, you've hunted all the animals, you can't travel too far because it's just too far in mountainous regions. And hey, we invent these things like sacrificing children for the gods, code for lamb or veal. Yeah. No, it's not their culture. It was like they were starving. They were starving of micronutrients. That's what that all was. Some places is. In recent times, the Holodomor in Ukraine, we've heard stories. Some cannibalism there. So, in amongst the herbs and the spices, this herb does that. There was some meeting of the minds, Indians, the Chinese. This does. Oh yeah, we found that this does that. A knowledge base, collaboration. Interesting. All that sort of thing. And in amongst that, there's the wars that manifested the emergency department type equivalents, limb amputation, wound healing, all that sort of thing, coexisting with herbs on wounds, with the policies they call it, and tinctures and all that sort of thing, with the swallowing of all the different herbs. And in amongst all that, with the herbs and spices, there's aromatherapy. Ayurveda has that. Chinese medicine acknowledges aromatherapy as well. Herbalists now, naturopaths, and weeding in all that. It was all about the gods, sacrificing for the gods, pleasing the gods. The gods made us sick because of that. Therefore, we use this herb and spice to treat this and that. The physicians came in, science came in, and with science and experimentation and case studies and peer reviews, we have things like, in surgery now, chloroform, anesthesia. Hey, we wake up and we're all fixed. In an emergency type situation, like 6 months ago I broke my thumb. Thank you, mainstream medicine. But not when it comes to chronic disease, autoimmune disease, and the like. And aging so fast from age 60 to 80, and then you drop dead. Really, we should hit 60 and not drop dead that quick. We should make it to 100, 110 plus. But because of our ability to absorb those micronutrients, all started in ancient Egypt, we just dropped dead much faster than we once did. And hey, I have to say this again, sorry for the regulars, but hey, we've doubled our life expectancy. yes, we've doubled our life expectancy, but infant mortality rate has 20-folded. As in a reduction in infant mortality has 20-folded, 2,000% better infant outcomes. And that comes with, hey, thank you, mainstream medicine again. Okay. But here's the kicker. Here's how stats work. The average age at the turn of the 20th century was around the 40 to 45 mark. We've doubled our life expectancy. It's going further north. Even less infant mortality rate. That's how come we're shooting north. It's possible to reduce infant mortality rates even more, but the bulk of it has pretty much done to make it that significant statistical boost. But here is what really stuffs things up with, we've doubled our life expectancy in the last century. Well, there used to be numbers, 1 in 400. So 25 out of 10,000, we'll use that 10,000 figure because we like using 10,000s for some reasons. I'm not sure why, in Mendelian population studies and all that sort of thing. 25 of 10,000 people live to the age of 100 around 1900. Now, these are more like 2020 figures. 1 in 10,000 people live to the age of 10,000. But we've still doubled our life expectancy. Yes, we have, but infant mortality rates, that's what skews the figures, but not the per 10,000 part. Yeah. So that's a bit of a mind fuck. Just one per episode. I just have to emphasize things, yeah? One cussing part in each episode. So, thank goodness for emergency medicine that because they were getting so good, medicine was getting so good, it became the go-to medical modality. There was many competing. They were all competing for popularity back at the turn of last century, 20th century, and many that may have listened to my musings. I was thinking of Marcus Aurelius again. Anyway, many that have heard me throughout my 120 plus episodes know that. Where was I going? Because I was thinking about Marcus Aurelius. What's that word he used? The thinking, the thoughts of Marcus Aurelius. Get it out of your system. Anyway, so the Flexner report, what was it? 1911? Was it 1913 or 1917? Anyway, 1911. I'm going to punt. I just forgot. But let's say 1911. Rockefeller, he wanted to take advantage of one particular modality, the physicians, the surgeons and the like. They wanted to support the physicians because we can use our oil, our petroleum products to in the medicines, right? I'm not buying it. Yes, particularly with the plastics, with the capsules, the plastics go in that, and what makes plastics? Oil. And it's only a thimble versus how much we use in our industry. Okay, so it's not that. Basically, physicians, they were getting results. They were getting results, and those results were birthing results, amputation, war injuries, and that sort of thing. And hey, when you're a mogul, a billionaire mogul like the Rockefeller of the Flexner report, JD, was that JD? Yes, J.D. Rockefeller. Um, when he petitioned the Flexner Report, Dr. Flexner, or was it Mr. Flexner, got this thing where the physicians, they got this. And what Rockefeller, in my humble opinion, and I'm not sure if I've heard it right in other musings of other people. Come on, Marcus Aurelius, what's that thing that he had? Anyway, and the physicians were getting those results. So the osteopaths, the naturopaths, the chiropractors, the herbalists all got weeded out. They didn't get supported. They weren't really weeded out, but they got support. And with support, financial support, and why did the financial support come? Well, because when you're a mogul, you want to create a legacy, a trust, this and that. It wasn't really a tax dodge as it is now with trusts and charities and whatnot. He wanted to create one of those legacy things like Nobel Prize. We know Nobel as creator of the Nobel Prize, Nobel Peace Prize, no, just the Nobel Prize. But he needed to get his name away from the invention of dynamite. So that's how we know Nobel, right? So why not J.D. Rockefeller, those evil oil companies, be known as the savior of people's health? I really believe that it wasn't a nefarious motivation by Rockefeller. It was mega altruism to further put physicians on a pedestal to support their great gains that they're making, especially with surgical interventions and the like. They thought at the time that aspirin was great. It was great. It was great, symptom masking and all that sort of thing. But by taking 10 times, 30 times the dose what we take now, like, people bled out on that stuff too, right? So that's why Rockefeller petitioned the thing to create this legacy. Not the best move, because now we're thinking that it was a nefarious act. Yeah, so even though I poo-poo the mainstream healthcare complex made possible by the Flexner Report, the motivation was not to use the petroleum products that Rockefeller just had lying around. No. For that extra thimble, for all that effort to use that extra thimble that would have been wastage. No. I can't buy it. I've really thought about this. I'm not sure how independent my thought is, but that's what billionaires do. They need to preserve familial, family, legacy wealth, because it's known through history that you go from shorts to longs to shorts in 3 generations, or horse to car to walking in 3 generations, and families have blown up their wealth, well known in history. And Rockefeller, still going okay, I thought. The Rockefeller family, it wasn't nefarious. Just like many, I'm hijacking this with Rockefeller and Gates. I was thinking, just a quick one with the Gates part. To help with eliminating meat and all that sort of thing, buy up all the farmland. I really believe that even Gates is trying to do a philanthropic effort, an ultimate mega altruist effort to help out humanity, because he's got plenty of billions as well. And I don't think it's nefarious to eliminate meat. He really thinks that meat is the scourge on our health or animal products as a whole. And he wants to create a legacy of creating lab meat or plant-based, all that sort of thing. And many YouTube influencers or social media influencers always pick on Gates. Look at his man boobs and his gut, and he's promoting the whole plant-based and the vaccines and all that sort of thing. No, it's not nefarious. It's not nefarious. So he even believes immunization. Because if I use that other word, even more episodes will be cut out. Yes, there are episodes that are missing in different, sometimes YouTube, sometimes on the podcast. Yes. So the immunizing stuff. He really thinks that his legacy will help the world. Maybe. But it's not nefarious. He really wants to make a name, to have this legacy like the Nobel and the Rockefeller, or misunderstood, because generations after you're gone, your wealth is gone. It's going to be spent. It's gone. It's wasted, malinvested, wasted, and thieved from accountants and lawyers and other family members, right? Okay, I've stopped the hijack of that idea. Maybe that should be another episode. Anyway. So we come to our recent wow ideas on healthcare, health care. Shouldn't it be like illness care or ill health care or disease care? Because we feel that our illnesses are genetic, environmental, our choices, that sort of thing. There's a lot to borrow with that, but it's basically managing an illness. We've raised our hands in curing particular illnesses. There's plenty out there on, there's no cure for this, there's no cure for that. People have cured themselves, not by what I prescribe here, the Health 44. Can you feel it coming on? The whole Health 44. Well, just quickly, the first for the 44 of the Health 44 is eliminating 90+% of the supermarket, the glutens, oils, sugars, nitrates, nitrites, introducing the supplementing of the 90 declared essential nutrients, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 essential fatty acids. Health 44. Okay. If any of this resonates, all my hundreds of hours of material is on all the portals out there, and just checking if this is still working. Sorry if there's a glitch in the sound. Yeah, sorry. So all my episodes of whatever have links there, and it's all there for free. But if you're struggling and you want pinpoints, I will help. Not that I can help, I will help, because I've certainly helped myself. That works for you. Shut up. We're all the same species, just like the same species with cows in a lot and chickens in a barn and all that sort of thing, and the crocodiles over there. We all have the same. All vertebrates have the need of 90 declared essential micronutrients. It's amazing. People say that, even amongst families, I need this diet. No. Yes, we are opportunistic omnivores, and this is where the whole diet tribe comes in. And no. Vegans, carnivores, paleo, vegetarian, frugivores, and all that sort of thing. Yes, even the Steve Jobs of the world was a frugivore, ate fruit for decades, and then pancreatic cancer. So we are still stabbing in the dark, even with the ultra wealthy, the ultra smart, the PhD, the brilliant person doing this work, but you're a schmuck. Yes, I'm a schmuck. But my stab in the dark is much more guided, much higher efficacy than all the other stabs in the dark. A little bit of my stabbing in the dark has herbs in there. Aromatherapy. If I get more income coming in, I'll engage in aromatherapy too, see how that goes. But the chassis is in the Health 44. The micronutrients, you better be starting to supplement. Otherwise, you're not getting what you need each day. You need dependable daily supply each day. Your carnivore diet is not enough. The animals in the lot, in the pens or whatever, they're not getting the micronutrients. The future or present cannibals aren't getting enough micronutrients either, but they are getting more because those animals are still alive. So there's still micronutrients in meat and the bone broth, the kidney, liver, for those carnivore people. Yes, vegans, you can also survive, but not as good as the cleaner eating omnivore and carnivore. You better be incorporating bone broth, organ meats in your diet, because just the muscle meat isn't enough. Yeah, lay off the bacon because of the nitrites, and all the processed meats, and you will be better off. Because even the great reports from the carnivores, you could still drop dead at 70 or 80, because let's face it, many a carnivore will overdo their meat, which is part of the whole oils no in the Health 44, where well cooked meat, anything more on that, the red meat equivalent of medium rare, it's a no because it creates the whole trans fats, heterocyclic amines, acrylamides in your circulatory system, and so frying best is to bake. Okay, no frying, because the whole oils complex too. No oils, vegans. You subsidize or make up a lot of your calories by oils. Don't do the oils. It's part of the whole oils no in the Health 44, and that'll give you the heterocyclic amines, trans fats, and acrylamides in your system too. Even though you're not eating animal products, you will still drop dead at 70, 80 or whatever. So there you go. And in this current time of wow tech in health, and we can do this and we can do that, I've mentioned the diet tribes, but then genetic therapy comes in. It's lovely. Genetic, a lot of research, and billions going into this research, and there will never ever be higher, not just efficacy, but it will not make us live longer. This genetic therapies, genetic science that's going on at the moment, we are barking up the wrong tree. It's all about the micronutrients. There are good reports of gene therapies and different immune therapy, this and that, and that's also a stab in the dark. Whatever your treatment was in whatever disease you had, it could have been a chance improvement in your condition as well. So there's a lot of stabbing in the dark, okay, still, and that is proof that we are not there yet. If all these billions are spent on genetic therapies, still only yields the life expectancy of 80, and in 50 years we're still 80, or I believe in 50 years' time we might be 75, because we don't understand that we need micronutrients. So the stabbing in the dark continues. It even continues where we don't even understand that it's the infant mortality rates. The decrease in infant mortality has risen our life expectancy. But the whole idea of health span, reaching the age of 60, 65, and then being on half a dozen medication and a dozen medication close to the end of time, to the end of your time, that's not understood. To manage that, that's poking in the dark. That's poking in the dark, and my poke in the dark, with my result and a few others that I've attended to, it's all in the micronutrients. I'm not just saying, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So, so I don't get too long in the tooth on this episode. Bye bye for now. Come back next time.